Avery Partlow, and I am going to be a freshman in the fall at MSU, majoring in environmental engineering. And the movie I chose for my film show and tell is But I'm a Cheerleader. First of all, I wanted to start off with a content note. This movie does revolve around the idea of conversion therapy. There's also homophobia and homophobic comments, including use of the F slur. So to start out with some background, this film was released in 1999 and was directed by Jamie Babbitt, who is a lesbian herself. It was also written by Brian Wayne Peterson, who is gay and has had personal experience with conversion therapy. This movie is supposed to be satirical, and it is about a girl named Megan who is lesbian and is sent to a conversion therapy camp by her parents and friends. The whole plot of the movie revolves around the kids at the conversion camp going through the 5 stages of conversion therapy, which will eventually lead them to graduation. However, along the way, Megan falls in love with another girl at the camp, and regardless of her therapy. But I'm a Cheerleader was released in 1999, which was during New Queer Cinema. Towards the end of it, it was an independent film that was produced, directed, and written by queer people. This was when queer people first began to make their own movies and have a say in their own representation. During this time, LGBT representation became more present and common because of the 4 reasons we learned about: cheap rent, the HIV/AIDS crisis, President Reagan, and camcorders. But although there was better representation during this time, LGBT communities were still treated poorly. They were vilified because of the AIDS crisis, and they were still targets for violence. Despite these rough times for the queer community, though, many films with accurate representations were starting to be released. So an important visual element in the film were the costumes and the sets. The costumes of the kids in the conversion camps were pink for girls and blue for boys. Everything surrounding the kids too were pink or blue. So as you can see in the picture, the girls' room is pink, the boys are dressed in blue. Those are just a few examples, but the whole movie is basically blue and pink the whole time. And I believe that the colors were meant to be like an exaggerated satirical way to show like the gender binary of blue and pink, and how if you're a girl you have to like pink, and if you're a boy you have to like blue. And so I think this was used to make the conversion camp seem just over the top and ridiculous and exaggerated. And I think it was also a way to show how the kids didn't fit into the typical gender roles. Most of them were uncomfortable in their outfits and even just like looked uncomfortable throughout the movie. And it can be seen later in the film that they do not actually dress that way in their everyday life. So in this scene, the kids sneak out and go to a club, and you can see just from these pictures that they had much different styles. They didn't dress in all pink or all blue, and it really reflected their like unique queer style that were not reflective of typical gender roles. So when first hearing about the movie, I thought it would be a harmful representation since it was about conversion therapy. But as I was watching the movie and learned that the director herself was gay, I realized this film was meant to be satire. There are many clues in the movie that lead to this conclusion, like the son of the woman in charge of the conversion camp seemed to be gay, and also one of the workers at the camp was an ex-gay himself, so he said, and RuPaul played the character. And I know RuPaul from RuPaul's Drag Race, as I'm sure many of you have heard about. And I think Babbitt, the director, purposely cast him because he was a gay icon at the time. So it was meant to be ironic that he was playing like an ex-gay character, but in real life he was like a gay drag queen. Also, camp was used throughout the film. The whole concept of conversion therapy was made out to be ridiculous and exaggerated, and the film pokes fun at heterosexual anxiety and the narrow definitions of queer identity. But although the movie was supposed to be a joke, it still ends with a love story and not a tragedy. So, despite all the efforts of conversion therapy, Babbitt shows that there's no way to truly change someone's identity, and it's not a sickness that needs to be cured. And this is not meant to be an accurate representation, but it doesn't mean that this movie was harmful necessarily. I think it was like a clever way to show how ridiculous this was and thinking it can actually work to change someone's sexuality or gender. And the only negative things I would say about this movie is that it was sort of poking fun at the idea of conversion therapy, which is a very sensitive topic and is a reality for many people. It's not just like a joke. Also, the main character, Megan, is not actually played by a lesbian actress. The woman who plays her is straight, so I think that was kind of a missed opportunity for having some representation by an actual lesbian actress. But overall, I think I would give this movie like a A minus in representation because it's not an accurate representation at all, but I think the fact that it is satirical, that's the point of it, so it's not accurate. It's supposed to be campy, it's supposed to be exaggerated and made fun of, like making fun of conversion therapy for how ridiculous the concept is, thinking that that could actually work. But I would definitely recommend watching this movie. I really enjoyed it and I thought it was funny to, it's kind of making fun of like heterosexual people, so I thought it was funny. So that's the end. I just put a few pictures. So thank you for listening and have a good day.